Hi, my loves. Welcome back to my channel. So, as you can see from the title, today I will be doing 6 books that have changed my life. I'm really excited about it. Like I said before, I'm trying to add like different aspects to my channel of like spirituality and mental health. So, I think that this will be like a great time. And especially in like the times we are, I think it'll add some more excitement to your life or a different variation from what our everyday norm is to actually read a book and something that could grow you mentally, physically, and spiritually. So let's get into it, you guys. So my first book, I'm going to start from the books that I've read like lately and then some of the older ones. So the most newest one I've read, almost finished with it, I'm a slow reader, you guys, is You Are a Badass. And I'm actually gonna like put a picture of it too if you guys don't see it. And I actually love this book. On the front cover it says How to Stop Doubting Your Greatness and Start Living an Awesome Life. And I love this book, you guys. And I've learned a lot about myself and my interactions with other people and how I kind of was my worst on enemy, as they would say, and how that I was holding myself back from being my full potential, and a lot of it was based on, like she says, like what we were taught as a child, or what the world says that we should be, or what the world says that our career should look like, or the path we should take to get to our goals and stuff in life. So, great book. I'm still reading it. I definitely think it's one that you can read over and over again, but I really like it, and she's very funny. Like the comedy and stuff. Like I actually laugh when I read it. So I would say that this is definitely a book if you want to advance your career, um, and as well do some inner work about why you make the choices you make or who do you allow in your life. I think that this is a great book to help advance your career. And then my next book, this is actually a book that my professor had us read for our class, but it's a great book. It's called Zen Mind, Beginner's Mind, Informal Talks on Zen Meditation and Practice. I'm not saying the names because I'm not good with actually like saying words and like actually pronouncing them, if that makes sense. Especially because a lot of the books I have are like by Asian authors, and I'm not very well versed in that language. So, but I'll make sure to leave like the name and stuff and a picture and stuff so you'll see it clearly. But this is the author, and I believe he's actually a monk. Um, and I like this book. It is a slow read, as my professor said, meaning that I wouldn't say it's wordy, but you have to process it. Like it's not something that you can just sit down and be like, oh, okay, I learned so much from. Like you really have to slowly read it. Um, Step by step, or time at a time, I should say, to kind of get the understanding from it. And it's taught me a lot about like meditation. I thought that being zen or meditating is something that would just heal me completely within like a few times of meditating, and meditating is a lifelong thing, and you shouldn't really have goals like that. Like it's something that you should be doing for a lifetime, and for every lifetime if you believe in things like that. So it's taught me to not have such strict goals about meditation, and that meditation comes in all forms, and that me meditating actually affects all aspects of my life, and that I'm in a Zen mindset even when I'm not meditating, if that makes sense. So even when I'm out and about interacting with people, because I am putting that time in to meditate, that my mind is Zen at all times in all aspects of my life. So beautiful. It really taught me about the practice and what it truly means to be Zen. And then it taught me to how to let go of a lot of rules of trying to be perfect in meditation, because that's really not the purpose of it. It is to give away control, and to accept that there is yin and yang, and there is lightness, and there is light and dark, and there's dark and lightness, and vice versa. So everything has to coexist at the same time. So beautiful book. If you want to learn more about meditation, I think that this is a great book. There's another book I want to show you guys later on, and I feel like it's great for beginners, because it does say it's for a beginner mind, but in my opinion, and the meditation and stuff I know about spirituality and stuff like that, in Buddhism and Zen, I don't think this is a read for someone that's just starting off in meditation or trying to learn more about spirituality, I think this is like a little bit further down. So I'll show you guys that book in just a little bit. Um, and then my next book was actually gifted to me by an old friend, and is A Year of Daily Joy, a guided journal to creating happiness every day. Beautiful book. It, like I said, it is a daily journal. So it does give you like a picture each day. So you'll see in here, this is February. So it might give you a picture and a quote, a few lines to write if you want to, and then it might give you an exercise on the next page. So I don't think I've ever actually finished the whole book, you guys. I don't think I have. And that's one thing she says in the beginning of the book that I know, and I would say with all of these books, like, you don't have to have like a schedule. If that works for you, that's fine. But I feel like sometimes when you force yourself to grow, that creates you not to grow, if that makes sense. Like, because you're so eager to grow that you become so overwhelmed by it, and when it's not progressing the way that you want it to progress, then it can be overwhelming, and then it'll just shut you down from doing anything because you feel like that you're not reaching these goals that you've created. Like, I think sometimes you have to go with the flow, and even she says that in the beginning of the book, that it is created daily, but if you miss a day, that's okay. Like, you can always come back to it. So it's been times where I stopped it at a few months and started back up in for the next month, because it goes by months and days. Or I could have reread February, because it does have like certain topics. So one chapter, for example, could be like a rejoice, or one could be love. That was the one for February. So, and it's been times in my life where I feel like I need to work on those aspects, so I'll go back to it. But I think I stopped at like November. So that might be something in November. I might pick this book up again. And might really actually resonate with me what that chapter is, and the quotes and the activities and stuff like that. So, I mean, I would just say go with what goes with your heart. I think one thing I've definitely had to learn with me, that I sometimes never finish books, and that's something I don't like, because it could be something I'm missing out on. So I promise myself, if I haven't finished the book, I have to like finish that first one before I buy a new one. So that's like my accountability. But if I don't want to read the book every day, then that's okay as well too. And then my next book, which is an oldie one, I haven't read this in a long time, and I'm not even sure if I ever finished it. So that's why I say tell these things to you, because I feel like in the time of my life I read it, it meant so much to me, and then when I switched to a different phase, this book may not have been what I needed at that time. So this is Colliding with Destiny, Finding Hope and Legacy of Truth, and this is by Sarah Jakes. If you guys can see it, my ring light is reflecting, but it's a great book. And this is a book about Ruth in the Bible. I don't align with Christianity anymore. I don't say that I'm a Christian, but I respect all religions, and I think it's a great book, and I think that it offers great teachings. And I think personally, Sarah Jakes, it was very relatable, because it made me feel like the first time in my life that I related to someone within my religion, because at the time I did identify as a Christian, that I related to someone that had such a traumatic background. I don't want to use that word, but that's the only word that comes to mind right now. And it gave me hope, which her book says, like, finding hope in the story of truth, in the story of Ruth, excuse me. So it gave me hope that I could have something outside of what I had present at that time. And just, she was very transparent in her life and things that she's experienced. And I had never seen a Christian in that aspect share such difficult things in their life that most other Christians would have judged, or the world would have judged. So I admired that in her, and I commended her in that. So just great stories, things that I would never have read on my own, and how she correlated them back to Ruth. And she also had exercises in there as well. Like, she would ask you questions like about, for example, like, what are some things that you haven't healed from in your life, or some things that you would like to address within yourself, or work on yourself as a woman. So definitely for someone who wants to find themselves as a woman, empowerment within them, within themselves as a woman, also heal, So this is a great book. A lot of my books, you guys, are self-help books. That's really important to me to grow myself. So a lot of them will be about that. But I would definitely recommend Sarah Jakes. Even if you are a Christian or not a Christian, I think it's a great book for women empowerment, and for healing purposes as well too, and to have someone that you can relate to. And it shows you that you can relate to anyone, no matter what their walk of life is. So great book. I would definitely recommend this one. And then the other two books, you guys, I don't have. One of the books that I gave to a friend. And then the other book, it was actually borrowed from my sister. So I'll make sure to put the pictures up on the screen. And I'm looking at my computer, you guys, because I wrote them down because I don't have the actual books with me. And so the other book is actually True Love. And that is, it's True Love. It's a practice of the awakening of the heart. One of the first books I ever read. I love that book, you guys. It taught me so much about meditation and different forms of meditation. And in my mind and the environment and stuff I grew up, I just thought that meditation was supposed to be just one way, that you just had to sit up straight and go, or nam ring yo. Like, that's what I thought it was, you guys. And I found out meditation can be walking, hiking, being in nature, looking at flowers. Like, it taught me so much about meditation. It's a very short read, very small book, excuse me. It's like a pocket book. I love that. I would recommend that. Number one, first book to read out of all the books that I've read. Changed my life so much when it came to meditation. I would say once I read that book, my life was never the same. Like, and I know that's very dramatic and very like intense, but literally changed my life for the better. Helped me address a lot of like childhood trauma, insecurities and stuff like that. Of course, it wasn't like all at once. It took like a few years, but like I literally moved to LA with $500 in my pocket solely based off of that book, like to advance my life and stuff. So recommend that book. I love it, you guys. Such an easy read. Like I said, it's not like the others in mine. I feel like that's a little bit more advanced in meditation. But that one, I just love that book, you guys. And then my other book, you guys, is going to be The Law of Success. And then what it's written on the front of the book is using the power of spirit to create health, prosperity, and happiness. Love that book as well. It's a pocket book, very short read. If you're not a big reader, I would definitely recommend pocket books, which are small books. Usually they're like under 30 pages or less. Some of them are like 15, 10 pages. It's the book, The Law of Success. That's a really small read. I'm pretty sure it's like only 15 or 10 pages. Great book. I love it. Broken down, he's really big on like self practices and stuff and realizing things within yourself. It's a whole concept. I'm not going to get into it in this video. Amazing book. It helped me focus on myself, and accepting reality for what it was, and understanding that I am the creator of my happiness, that I don't need anybody else to validate me or make me happy. That starts within. That my happiness, my actual success, all starts within, and that I create that and I am in control of that. So beautiful book. I love that book. Those are two books I definitely need to repurchase again and reread them. But I love those books, and that book really helped me. I think I read it in 2018. Helped me realize that all the things I was chasing, like money and things like that, they weren't real. Like, those really weren't the things that actually fulfilled me. And that changed my life and made me like think things differently, because I was like, I have all these material things, but I'm not happy. So I need that love and those actual real bonds and like genuine, intimate connections with people. So I love that book. I would definitely recommend that one, True Love, and the Law of Success, as the first two books you should read if you wanted to progress in your spiritual life. So that is the end of today's video. Thank you guys so much for joining me. And as I always say, if you have not heard this today, I love you and I cherish you. I wish you guys the best peace and blessings and health in this time. And thank you for joining me. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.